I thought I knew everything about this street. The corners, the noises, the people, especially the woman next door. Every morning, I'd see her kneeling among her mustard green, hands in the soil, eyes gentle and distant. The perfect mother, people said. A quiet husband, a sweet little girl, a garden that bloomed all year round. But silence can be a very loud thing. You know what haunts me most? I was the one who introduced them. She was the quiet type, shy, alone. He looked lost and charming in a broken kind of way. I thought they'd save each other. Turns out, I handed her the knife. I just didn't know it yet. At first it was subtle. A broken dish, a door slammed too hard, excuses like he's tired or work is hard lately. Then I saw her fingers, bent wrong, a bruise just peeking under her collar. She laughed it off. I stayed quiet. We all did. That's what shame does in small neighborhoods. It keeps things quiet. Then came the night I heard her scream. Not just pain, fear, raw and animal. I heard him shouting. Something crashed. Then a child crying. Short, sharp, then choked off. I pressed a pillow to my ears. And the next day, silence. No footsteps, no yelling, no late night arguments through the wall. Just nothing. And that nothing lasted. She told me he left for work. Smiled too fast. Smiled too long. Her daughter didn't speak anymore. Just sat and drooped. At night I saw her in the yard. Digging, not planting, digging. One morning, I asked for some greens. She gave them to me without looking up. That night, I went into her yard. I don't know what I was expecting, but it wasn't that. Beneath the soil, a belt still intact. The kind men wear with tucked-in shirts and ego. And deeper still, the smell of rot under compost. I turned, and she was standing there. No fear, no anger, just stillness. Like she'd been waiting for me to understand. I never told anyone. I didn't call the cops, didn't ask questions. I just nodded, took the greens, walked home. I watched her garden bloom that spring. watched her daughter draw with color again. And I thought, maybe some things need to be buried. Some things grow better that way.
I've worked in psychiatric care for over 11 years, long enough to tell the difference between a disorder and something that shouldn't exist. They handed me the file of a little boy, just 8, small, fragile, but his eyes, they cut through you like glass. He bit a nurse on his first day. I thought it was trauma, some kind of abuse. Then he drew me something, a picture of his sister. A stitched up thing, wrong limbs, 2 palms on one hand, a head barely attached. He said Mom made her from other kids, but she wasn't as pretty as me, so Mom took her apart again. I thought it was a hallucination until the police showed me their freezer. Meat dolls, hanging, tiny limbs, sewn together with pink thread. The mother was a former surgeon, license revoked. She told us I couldn't birth perfection, so I built it. Then came a 13-year-old girl, starving, haunted. She flinched whenever someone said meat. I asked her why. She whispered, because meat has names of my friends. She said since she was 6, her mother only fed her special meat, said it was a treat for good girls. One night, she opened the freezer. Inside, dozens of bags, each labeled, each with a name, age, school. Her mother was a beloved chef. No one suspected a thing. No one. Beat the hushed. The last case still chills me. A 17-year-old girl. Her face didn't move, not even under a needle. No flinch, no wince.
Huh?
Her scans showed something unnatural. Veneers over bone, gel injections instead of skin. She said her mother made her wear makeup every day, dresses at night. And when she started to fade, Mom gave her more serum. That serum extracted from other girls. The police found a pressure cooker in the basement. Human remains, still warm. I've treated hundreds of patients, but only 3 times did I see eyes like those. Not in the sick, not in the broken, but in the mothers, calm, smiling, certain they were loving.
In a peaceful suburban neighborhood, where all the houses look exactly the same, and secrets are usually buried deep, a young couple hired a babysitter. Her name was Mara, polite, neat, and recommended by neighbors, whom no one remembered ever meeting. At first, everything seemed fine, until they checked the baby monitor. At exactly 2:33 a.m., their little son suddenly sat up in his crib and stared straight into the camera. No blinking, no movement, just staring. His eyes were blood red, glowing in the dark. They assumed it was the infrared mode, a device malfunction, until one morning, The puppy was lying dead in the kitchen corner. A ballpoint pen stabbed straight into its eye. The baby's shirt was stained with blood. But when they asked him, he simply smiled, gently, as if nothing had ever happened. From that day on, they started reviewing the footage more carefully. Mara always kept her door tightly shut. She always played lullabies. But if you listened closely, the music was playing in reverse. She drew strange circles on the floor, whispering a language no one understood. The child sat motionless. His eyes rolled back, completely white. They should have fired her or called the police, but like many busy adults, they only suspected in silence, and just like that, it was enough for the ritual to begin. That night, they came home earlier than expected. Mara didn't have time to hide anything. They saw her kneeling beside the crib, slicing the baby's hand with a knife, letting the blood drip onto a demonic symbol. Under the crib, an old box hissed, constantly whispering. The baby didn't cry, didn't move. He simply smiled. A gentle but twisted smile. They screamed, rushed into the room, but in the dark hallway, someone was already waiting. 4, maybe 5 strangers. They wore masks and said nothing. They just walked closer. The parents arriving home at that moment wasn't a coincidence. It was part of the setup. They were the final sacrifice. At the center of a circle, etched with an inverted star, the child sat. On both sides, 2 basins, holding the horrified faces of his mother and father. The hooded figures circled around them, chanting. No scream lasted long. The next morning, the police found only ashes in the backyard, an empty crib, and no trace of Mara or the child. A few weeks later, neighbors said they saw the boy again. Same face, same shrill laugh. But whenever no one was around, he would turn his head and stare straight into the surveillance camera, eyes glowing red, and a smile far too wide, sharp as a blade. That child was no longer a child. He belonged to another force. And those people, they're still out there, still taking care of new children.